Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, so in this market update time video, I'm going to be sharing with you just a quick update on US stocks, such as the Dow Jones, S&P, stuff like that. Go have a look at the metals, see what the metals are up to, see what's really going on there. Just keep on top of them short term there. And then I'm also going to share with you two stocks or one more ETF and one stock that are setting up really nicely for possibly a bullish move, right? Stocks that I'm looking bullish on. Yesterday, I shared with you why Amazon is looking bearish. In fact, Amazon had a nice down day today, but Amazon's looking bearish. But there's actually really interesting. Amazon's looking bearish, but then we've got one ETF and one stock that I'm really bullish on. I'm going to share that with you. And then I'm also going to cover also in this video, Bitcoin. Bitcoin just had a really big breakout. Now the question about Bitcoin, is it a true breakout or is it a false breakout? If this is a false breakout, then get ready for another enormous big bull run in Bitcoin. If it's not, well then who knows, right? But I'm going to share with you exactly what to look for to see if this is some sort of false breakout on the downside on Bitcoin. And I'll be walking you through that in this video as well. So before I do start, guys, I am running a 98% off my entire legacy collection. That's right, all my courses that I've released over the last many years that I've actually been doing this. I'm actually running a 98% off legacy collection sale. And if you see that very first link in the description, click on that. You can be able to go see all the details. They get 98% off the most powerful system strategies on the planet that have helped me get to where I am today. So click on the very first thing in the description and go check out the 98% off sale now, because I'm only running it for today only, one day only. So let's get straight into the markets right now. Let's have a look at here. Firstly, I'm going to look at the Dow Jones. Okay, so a lot of people were freaking out. We had a bit of a sell-off. We had a bit of a gap up and we had a little bit of sell-off in the markets. People are worried. People are saying, oh, what's going on, John? And stuff like that. If you have a look at this here, this still could be some sort of bull flag that's forming right now in the Dow Jones. In the scheme of things, you can still see we had a low, a high. This could be some sort of high low through here. And now it's made a double top. So right now, we're just developing some sort of possible bull flag through here. And we're getting the moving average still pointing up. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see if the market did continue to do this and then we started to break up and then go for a big run and go for one last push. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see the market actually do that, especially now they're dropping rates. That's actually a bit of a buoy to the stock market. Buoy, is that a word? Buoy? There you go, right? So that's what I'm looking there on the short term, guys, on the Dow Jones. Also looking at the S&P 500. We can actually see that the S&P 500 sort of the same thing, right? But not as bullish. So we had a move up, sort of sideways, sort of a bit of a backing pattern, and now a bit of a double top through here, and now we're sort of just backing off through here. Not really, but again, we've got this nice moving up, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see this thing maybe just hover around here a bit longer before it actually breaks up. If we do continue to go sideways here, guys, that's an energy building, and if we continue to do this on the S&P 500, something like this, maybe like up, down, something like that, and then we start to break. This sideways phase is telling us we're now getting ready for a big run if it breaks to the upside. So keep an eye on that. I'm not saying it's going to break to the upside, guys, but I'm just reading what I'm seeing right now. Really interesting. And if we go to the Nasdaq, now the Nasdaq is different, right? Nasdaq is actually starting to roll over here, so it'll be really interesting to see where this is going to play out. So we got this. Let me actually delete that off the screen there. Let me go to a 3-month view. Actually, no, let me just bring to that view there. I can see that there's some sort of a trend line coming up through to here. So somewhere around about there. Okay, possibly even somewhere through there I'd have it. So there's a trend line coming up through there. So it'd be really interesting to see where we actually start to, do we actually break this level through here and we continue down on the Nasdaq? Because it's starting to look quite weak, which is really interesting because Amazon's looking quite weak as well too. So the Nasdaq's starting to roll over a little bit more here, creating some sort of lower high here. So it's really interesting because sort of the buyers and sellers are fighting out now. We have a low, a high, a higher low. If this is a lower high, who's going to win? Really interesting, right? So is this going to be a lower high, breaking past previous lows? If so, down we go. Or is it just going to be is this going to be some sort of high low before we go for another run in the markets? I don't know, guys. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Moving on now to silver and gold. Again, on the short term there, guys, with silver and gold, looking at gold here. Let's bring up 3 months. We'll say 3-4 months with the data here. All right, so we can see that through there. We also can see that we have something going on through here as well. Let's bring up, say, 3 months. Okay, so we see that we have, you know what, let me just erase all off the screen here. And we also can see that we've had that through there. That's actually breaking up through there somewhere. All right, so that's what we're having right now. It's where we are right now, but I wouldn't really put too much relevance on that. We'll sort of just continue sideways, but we'll continue up a high, low through here. So no real clear direction through there. And moving on now to gold. Gold is pretty much sideways. This is just one big sideways movement. This is now rebuilding. We're not having any big deep pullback. So I believe gold is starting to get ready for a nice move back to the upside. So that's what I see through there. Looking at gold. Let's go have a look at some of the indices. SLV, pretty much once again not much going on through here with SLV. Pretty much high low, so another little high low. We are still continuing to push up, but you can see we're slowing through here, so it'll be really interesting to see what happens through there. Same with the SIL. Let's go have a look at we'll go have a look at, say, GDX. Once again, lower low. There's a lower low here on GDX, so it'd be really interesting to see whether we do get a lower high and we start to roll back down towards here, have it just within line of this pullback. And then also the GDX as well too, we had this lower low. So is it going to be some sort of lower high through here? Because the buyers are not raising their prices, so there's really no one in control on the short term anyway, guys. On the short term, meaning we had high low. Buyers are definitely in control through here. Breaking past previous highs, false breakout, lower low. So there's no one really in control. Is it going to be a lower high, or is it just going to be sideways for a while until there's definitely someone in control through there? And then also the GDXJ, the same thing through there. So that's what I'm looking at through there, guys. What I'm seeing through there in the markets. Now let's go on and look at two different stocks that I'm starting to become pretty bullish on. The first one is JP Morgan. JP Morgan is looking really, really nice. Now, not today. I still would like to see a bit more sideways movement, but JP Morgan looks like it's getting ready to go for another move on. And I would really, really, really like it to see, you know, just another couple of sideways days. Let this moving average catch up and then give us a nice break. If that happens, let me bring up this chart through here. All right, so let me bring up and let me squeeze up. Let me go to, say, a 6-month view here. So I'm seeing through here, guys. We've actually very, very, very very nice. Okay, notice how we spent pretty much. Let me erase that. Let me go back to that. Notice how we spent pretty much all that time going sideways. Look at this here, sideways, not much going on. Now we broke up, right? Broke up, and now we're just getting a nice little pullback and waiting for this moving average to start to catch up. If that and that's broke up to a nice high, and now we're getting a bit of a nice pullback through here. So by looking at that short-term view, we're getting a nice pullback. If we can continue this sideways movement and then we get a nice solid break up, all right, nice solid break up, like a nice little candle that opens and gets something like that, and we get an increase in volume, then that tells me we're looking at that there, right? So if we go back, say, to the 3-month view, if we go to the weekly chart, right, we can see that resistance through there. Where is the next target on this one here? Well, pretty much nowhere, right? Well, actually, if you bring up the projection line, the projection would be from there to there. So what you do is you measure from the high of this recent, see this high there, low there. You project that down, right? So you're projecting from the high to the low of this recent channel that's happened before it formed. And if this is going to break out, where's it likely to run to? We project that, we bring to the top, or we bring basically that length and we bring it to that line through there. We project that out, and whammo, smammo, that's exactly where JP Morgan is likely to run to based on this sideways channel. I call it a channel projection target, And so what's happening right now is that we've had a run through here. We've had a run, and now we're getting a bit of a pullback. If we do just a bit of a one-to-one projection on this, and then I extend that out, let's have a look here. Right, and then if I extend that out, then as you can see, right, this one-to-one projection from there to there. If I extend that out, you can see it's just above there. So this whole area through here, guys, this 130 level is definitely a target of where JP Morgan could be getting run to, because we have just broken out. So buyers are starting to really ramp up. We're getting a very nice moving average. We're getting a nice sideways phase. We're not getting any strong pullback out of this here right now. So JP Morgan, if I haven't done so yet, I'm going to put that on my watch list to keep an eye on that. Now, that's the very first stock. The second stock, oh, it's actually not a stock. It's actually XHB. Now, why? For the same reasons I just gave you just then. Look at this here. Look at it, and respect it. Be happy. Be joyful. Whatever. So, why do I like XHB? Well, it's not that I'm looking to get into it now, but I'm starting to see a really good buying activity that's happening around XHB. I'm starting to see we had a low, we had a high, low. We've ran up. We've actually broken out of this resistance level through here. Right, so you can see this major resistance level through here. We had this whole area really from here to here was really the resistance point, right? So that whole area, that band there. And let me just see if I can see if I can make that. All right, let me just do that through there. All right, so that's basically an area. Let me just actually set that as default. So you can see that whole area is really support. We had a lot of resistance through here. So we had a lot of support through there. We're now getting a bit of a channel, a bit of a trend line possibly coming up through there somewhere. That's actually starting to come into play right now. So we're getting a high, low. We're having a nice move up, having a nice pullback through here right now, which is really nice. Once again, if we can start to get like a nice little up candle with an increase in volume, then that tells me we go back to this weekly chart. Let's go, that's that long-term trend line. Let's go to this one here. If I bring up, say, the 1 year view, so 1 year worth of data through here, you can see how we've just been compressing up, high, low, high, low, high, low. We were compressing up for quite some time. Now we're running up. Now we're having a nice pullback through here. Really nice pullback. It's starting to get some smooth action through there. And then we can see also, once again, if I just remove this out of the way, you can see also we're getting a very, very nice smooth pullback. Now the weekly chart, if we do start to get a run, if we do start to break up out of this long-term resistance line through, and we do start to get that sort of action, then guess what? That line up through there is where, if I squeeze this, we'll go to the weekly chart, but you can see on the daily chart, there's nothing but white space here. So what I'm saying, guys, is JP Morgan looks like it's about to go for a big run. And the XHB, the home builder index, looks like it's about to go for a big run. If we start to break up and out, so if I measure this from here, if I measure from the absolute low point to the high point, right? So this last move up before it came down, and then I project that out and up from there to there. Let me just see where that comes into play. And that comes into right there. So around about that level through there. And it's probably going to overshoot to go to this highs through there. So guys, there is two different stocks that I'd keep an eye on for. Now, again, I'm not buying it right now. I'm still going to wait for my setup to form. And I still need to wait for all the entry, everything start to form there. But these are two different stocks I'm getting really, 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 really excited about. This is the thing about trading, guys. Okay, as you can see, I do so much analysis in these markets. One, I do my scans every day to look for good trades. And then what I also do every day, right, is I'm looking for stocks that may be setting up and just watching and watching and watching. And then I'm ready to pounce, boy, girl. Right. So that's what I'm seeing there right now, guys. And once again, I'll just make sure that I've added that to my watch list of stocks that I like, and you can see the reason why I like that. Now, let's go have a look at the Bitcoin. Oh, all right, let's actually bring this up here. All right, so okay, so this is Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin chart. And as we can see, right, with Bitcoin right now, what are we seeing? Okay, so firstly, I want to, let me delete that. We actually came down to a support line. We actually came down to that there. So let me just move this up through to here, right? So I just want to keep one trend line on there. Let me just delete that through there, all right? So we came down at a low, lower high. We came down and we had a big flush down right now. Now, is this a true breakout where we're likely to see possibly a move back down towards this 5,000 level? I don't know. I have no skin in the game either way. I'm not really bullish or bearish. I'm just a trader. And my job is to read what this market's telling me. Is this a true breakout? We'll soon, right? If it does continue down from there, then it's probably going to be a true breakout. If we go back to that weekly chart, if it is a true breakout, then let me just mute my mic there. Right, and then we can also see that it's possibly even if it does continue down, we'll possibly even head down towards that line through there, which is that support level. So that's what will probably likely to happen. There's a bit of a support here around that 7,000 level. But if this is a false breakout, the reason why I'm saying if it is a false breakout, because we go back to that weekly chart once again, guys, and we've got this very big move up, and now we're getting a bit of a pullback. This pullback could be just part of an overall big bull run. Okay, so I don't know, and I don't really care. What I'm trying to analyze is what the market's telling me. That's why you see my phone's going nuts today, isn't it? So I don't really care. So if we have this move up, and now we're having a move back, guess what? We've had this lower high, this lower high, this lower high has been trumped by this higher high. So some sort of high low through here could be in the works before we start to go for another big run, right? And this could be some sort of big of a sucker rally or a false breakout. And if that's the case, they're getting people massively short right now with Bitcoin with that, right? So if we have a look at the daily chart, what do we need to see to say, okay, this was a false breakout, and then not only is this a false breakout, but where's it likely to run to? If it is, this is what we see, okay? So firstly, we see this market had a support throughout, support, and then the market broke down, okay? So we broke down through here on Bitcoin. What we will want to see to say, okay, this is some sort of false breakout or a bit of a sucker rally to get people short before that long-term weekly chart kicks back in and we start to like really ramp this thing up. What we are looking at and looking for is this, okay? We're looking for the market to pause here for a little bit, or even if it pause here for a little bit and rally back up, or either it just does, basically just does that because it gets right back above this line through here. If that is the case, this is a confirmed false breakout, then what's likely to happen is we're now likely to head back up towards the highs up here. So possibly even the recent high, possibly back up towards this high. If this is some sort of false breakout, then we're likely to head back up towards the highs. I'm not saying that's a trade entry for me. In fact, it's not. I don't trade false breakouts there. And then once we start to break up and out, then we're now likely to start to see possibly another big move. If we do that, if this is a false breakout, probably likely to run to the 12 to 13,000 level. If the 13,000 level doesn't hold, then we're pretty much free and clear towards that sort of $18,000 level there, as you can see on my charts through there. Let me bring up 1,000. There we go. Right, so as you can see, right, there's a lot of resistance up through there. So that's what's happening right now, guys. That's on the short term on Bitcoin, but you can see the flow of it, okay? If this is a false breakout, we're now likely to run back up to 12. If the 12, 13 doesn't hold, then we're probably going to run back up to 18, 20,000. Is it going to do that? I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think this is a true breakout and it's going to continue to drop down to that 5,000 to 6,000 level? Or do you think this is some sort of false breakout?